Good point. Morning, afternoon, evening. Welcome to the Friday Fix with myself, Ryan, and the awesome guys from AlphaPix. As usual, if you don't already follow them on Twitter, if you don't already subscribe to their Substacks, do so. It's phenomenal content. And also, the price is going up on their premium stuff. Get in now before it goes up. It's still ridiculously cheap, let's be honest. Also, the reason that there's only PIQ as a host is because we're all in the same room.
Yes.
Usual disclaimers apply. There's no editing at all, which is very obvious when you're listening back to this. Apologies for any foul language. Alex, Jay, what's happening?
What's happening? Well, firstly, it's lovely to be back here in person. The Friday Fix is alive and well. I actually want to start off with the story that is probably most fresh off the tape this morning of Donald Trump nominating Kevin Walsh to replace Jerome Powell.
So is that official now?
So it is official as of an hour ago, because yesterday there was that chatter that he heavily hinted it was going to be him, but he has confirmed it now. Interesting that it was one of the catalysts that saw equity markets sell off yesterday.
But why?
Futures, because he's seen as more of an orthodox pick.
Oh, right, okay.
That's what I would say.
I'm glad you said that, because when me and Jay were talking just now, he said he's more hawkish, and I was like, he's not hawkish, he's just less dovish.
Exactly. Yes, but it is still a slightly, a nuanced one, as in terms of yes, he's less hawkish, but he's still
shades of grey.
Shades of grey. He's still pursuing. He still wants rates low.
Yeah, he's not hiking.
Yeah, he's not. He's not hiking. But I am surprised a little bit by the extent of the move low, the higher yields, etc. Move up.
The fucking cliches and all this, but it was like proper buy the rumor, sell the fact kind of thing.
Yeah.
And as you were saying before, Dave, it was almost like markets are just looking for an excuse to shit themselves.
There's been a lot going on. It was just a reason of, this was what we expected. So we'll sell off. And actually, it's not that bad of a pick.
Yeah.
As far as market reaction.
And the interesting one I saw was there was one of the Republican senators who basically said that he won't ratify it through the Senate, or he won't pass through the Senate until the decision on the Fed renovation building has been completed and the criminal indictment of Powell has been resolved. Which I didn't realise is a thing.
Yeah,
it is a thing.
Is that criminal indictment still going on?
It's still going on, and so Walsh technically can't take the chair until there's been a resolution on Powell.
I'm assuming now that he's in place, that'll just quietly get resolved, and
you think so?
Because Trump will want to just get him in, right? He won't want.
Yeah,
because
I think the Powell thing is just make some noise, make a show. I don't actually think he wants.
No,
President.
No.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
it'd be a nice bonus if he is.
Yeah.
Sharing a cell with Diddy. But this thing is it's just the whole thing has just got way out of hand, especially with the Fed refurbishment and stuff like this. It's completely. My bet is now that he's got his man in there, it just all goes quiet again, and then we can focus on other things like blowing up Iran and stuff like
Venezuela.
Cuba's next and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But so what's your impression of Walsh then?
I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't read into him that much. I mean, clearly, back in the day, because he was in with a sniff back in 2016, 2017, obviously when Powell was sort of around as well. And he didn't get it then, and he was tagged. He had this tag of being an inflation hawk. That was his one. So previously, he hadn't been on this policy of less lower rates, etc., etc. He'd always been more cautious on let's get inflation under control. But apparently, he's given up that mantra now, and maybe he's sold his soul to Trump to get the top position, and he's happy to basically adopt a policy.
But the thing is, people forget Powell was Trump's, wasn't it?
Even though Trump says he was a terrible appointment. Who appointed that man?
But everyone's forgot that it was he was this is my man in the Fed kind of thing. But the thing is, on paper, Walsh isn't the most dovish of the options, but it's Trump's pick. Trump has spoken to the guy and said, look, you're getting the job if you play ball.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But also it is just a chair and there's still a committee that decide the direction and the size of cuts. So there's only so much influence Trump could ever have with his picks.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The next most relevant one was obviously the moving commodities this week, which has been pretty insane.
Depends when you're listening to this.
Yeah, silver could be higher or lower depending on when you live.
We've got all-time highs, or it's been a really bad week.
Yeah, I mean, so a couple of little stats. Silver spot as of probably 10 a.m. this morning, 10 a.m. on Friday the 30th of
Prices
January.
are guaranteed until I say
Yeah, was down 13%, which was the biggest daily move since August 2020. Gold spot at 10 a.m. was down more than 6%, which was the worst day since April 2013. And it's kind of like, again, some are pointing to the move, the sort of cross asset move with the Walsh news, but also, silver, gold, some of these precious metals were in heavily. I think the RSI on silver was like 90 or something crazy.
Yeah, I think you've got like 91 on the daily.
91,
which is like,
yeah. So it's like there was always a correction coming, although I think the difference that was being argued or muted across the board was some guys were like, well, do we see any correction? Do we see silver and gold basically get up? Let's say gold gets 5,500, basically tread water around that level, consolidate, and then have another go, or do we see it actually materially move lower before?
I mean, like you can't hold it against the markets. It's come off a bit because fucking hell. I can't remember what day it was. Obviously, I'm a little bit hungover. Michael Brown, if you're listening, I'm really sorry that I couldn't do the morning blast this morning. But I said yesterday or the day before, the most bullish thing for metals at the moment is to trade sideways or small down just for a couple of weeks because there's so much poorly positioned length in the market, which is why when it started getting sold off, it'll barrel up because there's people like ridiculous positions and are buying the top stuff. You need to, steady the ship a little bit. And I think it's still a bull market. Yeah, this isn't the end. Although what I did love was it was yesterday the FT put out, I think, the feeding frenzy in metals or something like that. And I even said like, this is the top, lads. And then it like collapses. But as you were saying, it's a healthy correction. Let's put it this. But the market is starting to look a little bit disorderly. And when I say that, what I mean is it's gapping around. It's like, it's leaving, single prints on the market profile and stuff like this. It's not trading every tick. On the way up, it was trading like, good, decent size on every tick going up. Now it's a bit.
Yeah. And I think two things that add to that. One is that trading metals is not the same as trading an equity name or a currency in terms of like the supply and the demand dynamics. And it's like, are you trading physical? Are you trading the paper version like on the futures or London OTC market? So that also creates a bit more ripple, if you like, in price, or depending where you see a price quoted. But the other factor is, I think it really speaks to, not that we're trying to get too educational on the case.
Not today.
But I think it really just highlights well is that you can have the right theses, i.e. silver's going to go higher, but unless you risk manage your position and put it on in an appropriate way, there have been guys that have been wiped out today on the 10%, 50% move, depending on the leverage you've taken, which futures contract you're trading, loads of different things. And so I think it really goes to show that, if you're picking I think silver is going to be higher by the end of this year, you don't need to be trading this on excessive leverage.
No, of course you don't. But also, like you're spot on in terms of like stuff like this. You need to be trading the right contract in the right way. It's like, it's again a fucking old cliche, like know your market, because there are, what you trade in spot, you trade in futures, you trade ETFs, and this is why kind of, unless you're already in, why would you get involved at the moment? Because depending on what size you put on, you massively be right, but you will get carted out. And mate, I wouldn't touch it with if I stole money off of Jay.
But I think bottom line, I don't know if you want to comment it, but I think medium term precious metals still head high from here. I don't think this is the end of the road at all.
It's one day.
It's one day, and I think. I think
I think what you said about weak length as well is why we're seeing the down moves here. But the fundamental drivers of this whole move up started with buyers over in the east, which
East London, Milton, Charlton, all those sovereigns,
which they've been buying up And obviously China, as a central bank, have been purchasing a lot of metals, and that's not going to change.
No.
They're not going to see a 20% down day and say, yeah, we're out.
Well, for them, it's manna from heaven because they're buying a bit
They're
cheap.
buying more.
But this is the thing. It's like, and people forget, one of the reasons the gold rally started was because what's happening in Ukraine, Russia, and then obviously Russian assets are being frozen and and kind of nicked, for want of a better word. So China's gone, well, look, we don't know what's going to happen in 10, 15 years time. We don't want our assets in banks across the world. We want to hold, because you can't kind of confiscate gold that's in your own bullion vaults. That's one of the reasons they started buying gold. People forget that. Yeah. People get a bit too carried around about debasement trades and all stuff like this, but generally some of these countries, they're just buying gold because they've seen what's happening in Russia, and Russia's lost billions of shekels or rubles, whatever it is, because sanctions and whatnot. But like you said, it's not changing.
Yeah, it's the Russian ruble and the Israeli shekel.
That's the one.
But Israel and Russia are alike.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty tight, right? So moving swiftly on.
Give me a break.
Yeah. Mag 7 earnings. That's
God.
a good one. So we've had a lot of the big reportings come through this week. Interesting, has been a divergence of fortunes for sure. Meta on Tuesday after market close rallied over 6%. Zuckerberg was pretty bullish. He said 2026 is going to be a year that AI starts to dramatically change the way that we work. And I'm like, is that not stating the obvious a bit?
Yeah,
Mark?
hang on.
But I mean, I think it already is. But that
He
was
also said this about the metaverse.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I
He's
forgot.
currently 1 for 2.
Yeah. I forgot about the metaverse. You remember that was what a waste of time that was.
Yeah, I know, and tens of billions of dollars.
Was it really?
Yeah,
billions
in there. Yeah.
We renamed the whole company after.
Oh, of course it did.
Yeah.
All right, wake up, Ryan.
Microsoft got slammed.
Oh,
you saw that? They had a tear. I think it was they closed down 10%.
I had a little nibble when they were down 10%. Well, this is big move on earnings. It'll bounce back. It's not bounced back. It's not bounced back.
And it's a shame because I was looking through it, and I mean, maybe you'll be able to comment more on it.
No, trust me. I can't.
Yeah, it's like the two things I saw was CapEx spending was up 66% this last year. So maybe there's some concern on the size of spending. And the other one, their Azure cloud revenue, which is obviously where the AI development's housed, it only grew at 39%, which was basically as expected.
Well, and I think it was the quarter before it grew by 40, wasn't it? So a lot of people saying, it's a percent off.
Yeah.
I think the concern for me, and obviously I'm now locked Microsoft, so disclaimers.
As a shareholder, how do you feel?
As a shareholder of Microsoft, I am now it's gone from a trade to an investment because I was hoping it bounced the next day and it hasn't. So now it's been locked away in the investment drawer.
Yeah.
But I think the big risk is obviously the concentration risk with OpenAI. Because there's a lot of concentration risk with OpenAI, and you need this to start working sooner rather than later. I think it was an analyst at Jefferies basically came out and said, look, it's all well and good that all these deals are lined up, but can OpenAI actually afford the deals that you got in place? And so, good point. No one knows. It's like this, like circle jerk of this CapEx. But actually, the start of last summer, we were talking about the CapEx and stuff, and you, Alex, you raised the point that we've gone. Remember at the start, like in the spring, it was like anyone that announces big CapEx had a big boost of share price instantly. Yeah. And then I remember you, Alex, mentioned that the market seems to now go, actually, it's less about the number, but the quality of what you're getting for the CapEx. And I think that's the concern with Microsoft, because you need to start seeing returns.
Yeah.
Right? It sounds basic, but
I think that's the trend we'll start to see more this year. And maybe Microsoft is an early tell of that, because it was like spend $1 and get rewarded $2 a market cap.
That was exactly
so they were spending for fun,
and that was like every day they were just announcing a new kind of we're going to do like 500 billion in capex next week.
Yeah. Not to talk about AI as a bubble, but I think if these companies start to see that markets aren't rewarding them for the spending, they will then pull that spending back a lot. And then I think that conversation will come up like, have they overpromised? Have they overspent already?
That's one of the drivers I would say that's negative for the commodity bull market as well, though. Particularly looking like copper.
I'm long copper as well.
Which the huge driver has come from AI infrastructure spend, electrification, all that jazz.
Yeah, grid 2.0.
Yeah. I think something like a copper, whilst I'm still optimistic on it as well, is that
Thank you.
Yeah. If you see that scenario, AI spending cut back, I think copper starts to struggle significantly off the back of that.
Yeah, well, that's the only reason it's been going up. Data centers is basically the reason, right?
Yeah.
That's my thesis.
Yeah. Which is intact for now. And talking on that point of monetizing, I think that's why Meta did well this week and has done well, is because they are one of the few big companies that are monetizing AI very well, particularly through like the AI glasses. And Zuckerberg again was saying on his thing, he was like, in I think a year, 2 years time, he wants everyone that wears glasses to be wearing AI.
Did you bring yours?
No, I didn't. No. Sorry.
Sorry.
But that's a valid point. When you think of the addressable market size, like why would everyone not who wears glasses wear AI augmented glasses?
Yeah, quite. But like I said, I think the important, and again, it sounds so obvious, but it's how you monetize the AI, right? There's so many startups that are basically, we do as well. They're running AI on apps and whatnot, but they're doing it based on like the free credits they get. Open like AI credits. Like AWS give you like $300,000 worth of credits if you're using AI. You've then got to monetize that before you run out of credits. And there's so many startups, there's so many companies that aren't monetizing. Yeah, look at Grok. How many billions have been spent putting people in bikinis? How are they monetizing it? When we were talking earlier on, Dave, I was like, I wasn't even sure that Grok was XAI.
Yeah, because it's not particularly impressive.
I think like Claude does very well. I love Claude. I think, and pay a lot of money for it. But someone's got to get paid at some point.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing where that is with OpenAI. You saw what's the SoftBank guy? Massa.
Sharma.
No, what's it? Massa son or whatever his name is.
Mm.
The SoftBank. So, do you see him? He compared himself to Jesus.
I mean, he has multiple times. He's done
has he done it?
Yeah.
It's like yesterday.
Okay.
Like they were saying, do you think you might be getting it wrong with OpenAI and all that? It's like, basically like, Jesus had a few like people saying he wasn't all that to begin with.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I've seen him in the past but attribute various highs and lows to
Jesus.
His faith. Yeah. Which is a little bit like, I'm not sure Jesus was in the investment game particularly.
I mean, you've got to be long of yourself, but
yeah. It's a little bit optimistic, isn't it? And then the last one we talked about in the earnings was Tesla, because they gained again. But interesting, because they've slightly pivoted, because obviously like EV is having like a bit of a downtrend, let's say.
Yeah.
There. And I think Tesla have done very well in slightly pivoting to like software, AI, next gen products, robots, that type of vibe. And
Show me a robot they've made.
It's true. Yeah. Right now.
They've transitioned to a story.
Yes.
What they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
The typical Musk.
Yeah. Oh, right. Full disclosure, me and Jay were talking about this over a drink just now. But, the cars aren't selling as well as they were. Also, not just the EVs in general, but obviously Chinese like BYD in Europe are like completely like taken over where Tesla was. But again, they pivot into like the robots and all that stuff. Then they're not in. There are no robots yet. Show me one that's being used. Yeah, what happened to the fucking semi trucks?
Yeah, that's true.
It's like
or the Roadster. That was wasn't it? On Joe Rogan, he was like, "It's gonna fly." Yeah.
It's like, but all he's doing is like pivot, like keep moving it, and so people can't catch up. If you see what I mean.
But at the same time, I struggle to see like if you're a Tesla and you've been holding it, you almost hold it on that 10% chance, 20% chance that Musk does pull something out of the bag, which maybe Tesla is doing it with this service. But like there is that real element of Musk. If anyone could pull it out of the bag, Musk would.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And also,
he has big dreams, but he's pulled some incredible stuff off. Catching rockets up.
But then that's not Tesla. That's SpaceX.
Yes, that's true.
But like we were saying earlier on, it's like you also do need to remember that that Musk gets $1 trillion payout if the share price rockets. So of course he's going to say anything and everything to get the share price up.
Yes. Yeah.
And well, on this story, because we've spoken about the different IPOs of these companies kind of last year at different times, but XAI or Starlink is, SpaceX is looking to merge with XAI ahead of an IPO later this year.
So like that'll be, how much is that going to be worth?
But then also, I saw one that Tesla is going to be funding or like buying in the grey market ahead of. I saw something where it's like, which again probably supports the Tesla share price, that they're basically going to take a chunk. If they don't already, there's being that term, I think Tesla already owns a portion of SpaceX.
Okay, got it.
So Tesla could indirectly benefit from SpaceX and XAI taking off.
So do we have any guideline on when SpaceX will IPO? Is it like Q2, Q3? Well,
I don't know. It's this year.
Yeah.
I think second half this year.
And everyone's saying it might probably be the Texas exchange.
Yes.
But is that even open yet? maybe. Answers on a postcard, please.
Yeah. Because the other IPO story that I saw, obviously, was back in the news today, which I don't know why it keeps getting so high on the news feed. So I feel it's kind of old news, but OpenAI basically says Q4 this year is when they're going to go for it. And it kind of like Sam Altman as like a kind of, is he a public company CEO? Like, I doubt it. Don't think so. But I don't know why that got so high on the newsfeed, because we've spoken about it before. But the implication of it is that it's a real good barometer of, do you want to be that first AI?
But this is what we said. We said this December, November. Yeah. It's like everyone's going to be watching.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be watching this first one, and it could be that turning point or whatever. And also, it's the first time that you can actually start shorting the company. And whatnot. It's the whole game, in my opinion, changes when one of these AI companies floats.
I wonder if it's a risk they have to take, because they're all in competition against each other, and if that is the edge, and they don't take it, they've then lost, Musk against.
It's a massive gamble.
Sam Altman. It's a big gamble.
If it pays off and you're the first, you're flight.
Yeah.
But if you go first and it fucking offered,
then you're gone in the
race. Yeah. And then no one else is going to IPO.
Yeah. I mean, and also with OpenAI, part of the public disclaimers where you get greater transparency in their finances. And I think that's very interesting because, whatever their ratio of like revenue to spending commitments is like so out of kilter.
Yeah.
And the only way I think that can be justified is when they do publish more detailed finances, is like, what's that scale of growth going like? And is it can they back up what they're saying? Because at the minute, we just take them for face value.
This is it.
Because they don't have to report.
But no one's looking behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's why no one's floated yet, because they were like, do a bit tidying up behind it first.
KPMG.
Yeah. But no, it's fucking madness.
Yeah. So then the last one I want to talk about, actually, which maybe we think is a bit more of a niche story, but I think there's definitely legs in it, is yesterday there was a Reuters report about the US administration saying they're not going to provide minimum price floors for critical mineral projects. And this, I think, is a big deal because like MP Materials, which is one the government has invested in, dropped basically over 10% in pre-market trading on this news report. And it is one where it's like, we've been very optimistic about critical minerals, partly because of like US government buying in and that kind of backstop. And also the fact that if you have government support of price floors, US want to win the fight against China, Australia, this type of thing. So they're going to champion their companies. If this is true and turns out to be true, then it's a real kick in the teeth for that theory that US critical mineral stocks can really do well.
Absolutely. I don't know if you saw, so was it MP? Is it MP Materials? Yeah. So they came out straight away and said Reuters have fucked this up. They got the wrong end of the stick or the wrong source, or whatever, because they've heard nothing about this floor being removed or whatever. And apparently Reuters then did go in and edit something in the article. Yeah. So I don't think it's clear cut as what it initially sounded like. Because like you said, when that story dropped, it's like, well, hang on, that's fucking, that's bad news for a lot of people. If it's not as bad as that, I think it's a great buying opportunity for like
Yeah.
MP material. But the thing is, again, it's like what we were saying before. It's like Trump making these decisions sat on the toilet. Like genuinely, it's like, again, it's how do you invest on the back of that? Like, do you just take it at face value that they got this wrong, or
is it just for his own gain?
Yeah,
Just they want more of these companies. So,
but but like you were saying, it's like the logic behind it is sound, but maybe it's not maybe putting flaws in. When you try and control the market, everything falls apart. We know this, right? But they need to do something. But how they do it, I don't know. It does. I think putting like artificial flaws in, I don't think that works long term. Again, but I think we need to know far more from the administration what it is they plan to do. But have you guys got any like interest or any longs or anything in those markets?
Not got anything in critical minerals.
No critical minerals. The one actually, to conclude, actually, is with the copper, with the theory that I think copper is a good one. There's Jubilee Metals Group listed on FTSE, listed over in the UK.
Yeah.
Red W.
Find the flag. And it's basically a mining company, but they basically just sold out of their platinum mine and they've sold it in South Africa. So they've got a wedge of cash, and basically in Zambia, which is where their copper production is, they're pumping or going to pump a lot of the proceeds of that into bumping up Zambia. Even before the cash comes online, they're forecasting their copper production to double this calendar year. This year. And if copper price does keep going, which I think it will, you've basically got a company that's going to double its output at, let's say, double the copper prices with cash to spend on getting.
So you're long Jubilee.
So Jubilee, I think, looks quite nice.
Are you long?
Yes.
Yeah. What's it trading?
Like 5 pence? No, less than that, I think. Like it's not a penny stock. It's got
5 pence.
150 million market cap, but I think it's I can say right now actually, it's 3.5 pence.
470.
470. There you go.
Penny stock.
Yeah. So but that's pretty much all from me on the stories. Anything else wants to?
Any more from you?
No, I think it covers most of it.
You just want to go back to your Negroni.
Go right ahead.
Perfect. Well, guys, thank you so much. As always, listeners, thank you so much. I hope we've added a bit of value, put a smile on your face, etc. Whatever you're doing, again, do follow the AlphaPix guys. Do subscribe to their Substack. I'm not just saying this because I'm going to try and get a beer out of them in a second. The content they put out is brilliant, and they're very transparent in what they're doing as well. So which is half the battle these days. Whatever you're doing this weekend, have a great one.